even unto death. If he will guide you in death, you know he will guide you in life, because he wants you to live a life that is so fulfilled. And he gives us wise counsel on how to lead those lives. Psalm 73 and 24 says, "Thou shalt guide me with thy counsel, and afterward receive me to glory." God will lead you through life. He will lead you in the plain paths. He will lead you by the little still small voice. Isaiah 30 and 21 says, "And thine ear shall hear a word behind thee saying, This is the way, walk ye in it. When ye turn to the right hand and when you turn to the left." My brothers and sisters, God is omnipresent. He's omniscient. He is everywhere. He knows everything, and he is omnipotent. He is strong. He's the strongest of the strong, and our God, he loves us. So even in the midst of uncertainties, Isaiah 42 and 16 says, "And I will bring the blind by a way that they knew not. I will lead them in paths that they have not known. I will make darkness light before them and crooked things straight. These things will I do unto them and not forsake them." What a mighty God we serve. God sits high and he looks low, and he's always keeping his eyes upon the sparrow. And if he keeps his eyes on the sparrows, my brothers and sisters, he is definitely keeping his eyes on us. So remember, there is a way out of your mess, and it's JESUS, and that's spelled Jesus all day long, my brothers and sisters. He loves you, and so do we.
Where can you buy a brand new Nissan with a lifetime warranty? Kingston Pike. Hey folks, Gerald Anderson with Ted Russell Nissan. You heard it right. Every new Ted Russell Nissan comes with a lifetime warranty, and that's a long, long time. Ted Russell Nissan on Kingston Pike.
Good morning and welcome to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Ask Your Neighbor can also be heard and seen on our website, WYSHradio.com. And if you are in Anderson, Rome, or Morgan County and have Comcast cable, you can watch Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV Channel 12. Ask Your Neighbor is the program where you call in and do just that. Ask Your Neighbor. Do you have a comment? Do you have a problem? Or do you have a question? Then call in and ask your neighbor. 865-457-1380 or toll free at 877-711-4005. And for those of you that might be listening or watching on the internet, you can email from our website, WYSHradio.com. Just click on the Contact Us button and email your questions. Now sit back and listen as listeners throughout East Tennessee and the entire world answer your questions on Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV 12 and AM 1380 WYSH.
It's the third Wednesday of the month. We hold this out for Sheriff Russell Barker. I've sent Russell a message. Haven't heard back. It's his day. He's not here as of yet. We'll give him a few moments to respond and see if he's going to make it. He hadn't canceled, so I assume so, but we'll find out here directly. 865-457-1380. If there's anything you'd like to ask in the meantime, anything you'd like me to ask Sheriff Barker when he gets here. All right, I'll let you know when I hear, if I hear, here in just a moment.
As a homeowner, I'm always looking for peace of mind, especially when I have a costly, unplanned expense, like a cooling system repair or replacement. That's when I turn to the eScore Quality Contractor Network. They're the pros who've been specially trained and approved by TVA and your local power company. The quality contractors are licensed and insured, so you can be assured the job will be done right and inspected for free. Contact your local power company or visit energyright.com to learn more.
Hey friends, it's Cougar from Rusty Wallace Nissan. It's March, so let the madness begin. You won't get your bracket busted when you score one of these deals. 2023 Rogues from $24.9 or just $359 a month. 23 Kicks versus or Sentras, you pick from just $19.9 or $249 a month. And we made a special purchase of 23 Armadas and Pathfinders at $10,000 off original new MSRP. So come on over to Clinton Highway or shop in those big orange basketball socks at RustyWallaceNissan.com.
I just told today was the sheriff's birthday, but still don't have any word. Maybe he's celebrating somewhere. 865-457-1380. This is Ask Your Neighbor on WYSH. Hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday, middle of the week hump day. Like I said, we'll be back here in just a moment. And, if Russell comes by, we'll get him on the radio. If it don't, we'll put you guys on the radio, or we'll get some great classic hit country music rolling. Whatever you'd like us to do.
When Cynthia came to TurboTax, she just launched her new side gig, a true crime podcast.
I'm a first-rate detective with a golden voice.
As her TurboTax expert, I made her second income count by guaranteeing 100% accurate filing and her maximum refund.
What did she do with that refund? Find out next week.
Switch to Intuit TurboTax and make your moves count. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Tax Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. This tax season, you get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a new Samsung Galaxy A15 for just $99. So you can give your janky phone to your kid. Good talk.
Switch to Straight Talk for plans starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com. Device offer ends 4/14/24. In-store activation on single Silver Unlimited plan or higher required. Family plan discount with 4 lines all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
Do you have Medicare? Do you have questions? Your local state health insurance assistance program can help you with all Medicare information and counseling topics. We are a federally funded program designed to help you. Our counselors can help you with anything related to Medicare, from enrollment assistance, Part A and B, finding the best plan to fit your individual needs, whether it's an Advantage plan, a Part D, or even a Medicare supplement policy. We can enroll you into the plan of your choice without representing any insurance company. We provide help with billing questions or even to report suspected fraud and abuse. We can also help you find out if you qualify for any low-income programs and complete those applications for you. The State Health Insurance Assistance Program is a federal program in each state, and we are Tennessee SHIP. Please contact your local East Tennessee SHIP department at 1-844-887-7447 or our statewide hotline at 1-877-801-0044.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey, pet parents. With Progressive's collision coverage, you get extra protection for your cat or dog, because there's nothing worse than seeing your pet hurt.
Like when you see their face after accidentally stepping on their tail, and you say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Pickles." But as you kiss his nose and rub his little belly welly, you know Mr. Pickles is thinking, "You betrayed me."
Anywho, Progressive pays up to $1,000 in vet bills if your pet is injured in an auto accident. Learn more at Progressive.com and watch where you step. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Collision coverage subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
All right, guys, tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to check in on Fast Talk. Garage Pass from the Performance Racing Network. It's 4 minutes long, and at the end of that 4 minutes, if the sheriff hasn't called or come by, we'll go ahead and put an end to the program and call it a show for this month and book him for next month or see when he wants to reschedule, if indeed he does. So we'll be back here in 3 minutes and 59 seconds to wrap things up or to get on the radio with Sheriff Russell Parker.
Hats off to Goodyear. I don't want them to get any heat for this.
Really a proud one for me. One of the more proud ones I've had in my career.
So just go tackle whatever the situation was the best we could. It was really good for us.
I'm working towards it. I mean, hopefully I'll have solo soon.
Mark Caro and PRN's Garage Pass.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
When it comes to maintaining your engine to run at peak performance, trust Z-Max Micro Lubricant. Z-Max soaks into metal, and it's so easy to add to your oil or gas to disperse carbon buildup in your engine, fuel system, and transmission. Protect your vehicle's engine to the max with Z-Max. Check us out at zmax.com or visit us on Facebook and Twitter to find out more about our full line of products. Z-Max for your car, big rigs, small engines, firearms, and more. That's Z-Max Micro Lubricant. Available at your favorite auto parts store.
The tire wear was a bit more than anyone would have liked at Bristol in the Food City 500, but come on, you can't argue that it didn't add a lot of drama. And how can you not like a race that had 54 official lead changes? Denny Hamlin's winning crew chief, Chris Gabehart.
Hats off to Goodyear. I don't want them to get any heat for this. I think Goodyear makes million-mile tires on the road. I don't think they should make million-mile tires on the racetrack. I want them to have to make these drivers make decisions, make these crew chiefs make decisions, and if they blow out, that's on the crew chief, and that's on the team. I think that should be, part of our sport to a certain degree, and force the world's best to make decisions.
It also fills a driver like Hamlin with a lot of pride for winning a race that turned into a chess match.
If the car was not good, wasn't going to win, but I feel like I played a huge factor in the result. So it's really a proud one for me. Certainly one of the more proud ones I've had in my career, no question.
On Sunday, Hendrick Motorsports hit another major milestone when it went over 80,000 laps led in Cup Series competition, more than 20,000 laps more than any other team in NASCAR history, covering 105,322 miles, which is more than 4 trips around the world. Now, 3 of the HMS drivers came home top 10, including Alex Bowman, who put a couple of bad races behind him to finish 4th.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks, right? So to just go execute, have everything go how we needed it to go and tackle whatever the situation was the best we could, it was really good for us.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Tom Kelly's carbon fiber mountain bike. Because more than riding his carbon fiber mountain bike, Tom loves telling people about his carbon fiber mountain bike. Friends, family, even a local barista knows about his carbon fiber mountain bike. And that's why Tom's carbon fiber mountain bike, if you haven't heard about it, is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Running in the top 10 for a while last Sunday for Rick Ware Racing and winding up 17th for his best finish of the season so far was Justin Haley, who's also attempting but hasn't qualified yet for his pilot's license.
No, I am trying. If flying the airplane was I think I'd be fine, but it's just all knowing about the weather and rules and things like that. So I'm working towards it. Hopefully I'll solo soon.
Mark Garrow and PRN's Garage Pass, sponsored by Progressive Insurance. For a job you'll love, visit progressive.com/careers.
And we just heard Sheriff's on the way, running behind today. It's his birthday. That's probably why, but he will be here, so we will hold things here with you for this Thursday morning. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. In the meantime, is there anything that you guys would like to, would you like me to ask Sheriff Barker when he gets here? If you want to go ahead and call me with those questions, I'll write them down for him, or he probably will hear them as he drives in. But 865-457-1380 or 877-711-4005. A lot we can talk about with the sheriff today, but again, anything that's on your mind or anything that has got your curiosity piqued that we might be able to get to, 457-1380 or 877-711-4005, and that'll get us all taken care of this morning. All right, Sheriff will be here in just a moment. We'll be on in just a moment. This is Ask Your Neighbor, WYSH. Good morning, everybody.
Check up on health with Chris Whitting.
Food allergies are serious business, especially for children. According to Ann Munoz Furlong, founder of the Food Allergy and Anaphylaxis Network.
There's no way to know when a reaction begins how bad it will become. And that's why you need to take every reaction seriously. Over and over again, we hear from parents that they gave their child a new food, and the child might have had a little bit of swelling of the lips or a hive, a mosquito-like rash on the face, and it went away and they didn't think anything of it. They introduce the food again, they get the same reaction. This might be an allergic reaction, and you don't know when the immune system is going to decide that it's going to create a stronger reaction. So take all of these symptoms seriously. Talk to your doctor and see if your child has developed a food allergy.
With Checkup on Health, I'm Chris Whitting.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Do you have Medicare? Do you have questions? Your local state health insurance assistance program can help you with all Medicare information and counseling topics. We are a federally funded program designed to help you. Our counselors can help you with anything related to Medicare, from enrollment assistance, Part A and B, finding the best plan to fit your individual needs, whether it's an Advantage plan, a Part D, or even a Medicare supplement policy. We can enroll you into the plan of your choice without representing any insurance company. We provide help with billing questions or even to report suspected fraud and abuse. We can also help you find out if you qualify for any low-income programs and complete those applications for you. The State Health Insurance Assistance Program is a federal program in each state, and we are Tennessee SHIP. Please contact your local East Tennessee SHIP department at 1-844-887-7447 or our statewide hotline at 1-877-801-0044.
Today, it seems like all businesses are being bought up by huge corporations, even body shops. Here's Barry from H&H Body Shop.
Yeah, there's a conglomerate that has come in and bought 3 of the major shops in the Knoxville area that were all local before. That's okay, but it's not the hometown stuff that folks around here expect and want. So spend your money with the local folks. We try to, and then you'll still get treated like your family, and what happens to you is important to us.
So do business with local hometown folks. No matter if your car needs an oil change or a complete color change. H&H Body Shop, 749 North Main Street in Clinton. Call 865-457-9735. H&H Body Shop, there since 1960, and there when you need them.
H&H has been around 56 years. We're Darla and Barry, and we appreciate you dealing with local hometown people that's been there and going to be there.
You know, there's a difference between someone who says they'll clean your car and someone who's dedicated to delivering strong and reliable services in auto detailing, paint correction, ceramic coating, and restoration. Detail Pros is a team of talented specialists using the latest products and techniques. They have a variety of packages and services to fit your budget. For the best in interior and exterior detail work for your vehicle, schedule your appointment today. Detail Pros serving Knox, Roane, Morgan, and Anderson counties. 865-900-1901. Professionally trained, certified, licensed, and insured. Detail Pros, auto reconditioning specialists.
Happy New Year from Hammers. Get this year started off right with new bargains from Hammers. Since 1952, Hammers has been bringing low prices and incredible deals to East Tennessee. The Hammers family will continue to make sure that our stores provide the same everyday low prices from your favorite brands in clothing and home goods in 2024. We want our customers, old and new, to have the same great shopping experience as in the good old days. Come on out and check out our famous brands like Carhartt, Wrangler, Columbia, Simply Southern, and many of the latest ladies' boutique brands at Hammers' low prices. Redecorating in the new year? Come on out and shop our great selection of area rugs and home decor. So before you shop online, come and shop with Hammers, Clint, Sevierville, Halls, New Tazewell, and Wartburg. A hometown retailer that supports the community you live in. Open 9 to 6 Monday through Saturday. Don't forget to check out our Hammers Instagram and Facebook. And remember, if you miss a day at Hammers, you'll miss a bargain. You should see us now while we're waiting on Sheriff Barker to get here. He said he's on his way. Take some calls. So let's see what we got on the phone. Morning, welcome to Ask Your Neighbor on WYSH.
Yes, I was just wondering, out of curiosity, after a car wreck, whether it be on the interstate or in town here in Clinton, who is responsible for cleaning up the glass after wreck scene? And I just wondered about that. A lot of times, after a wreck, there'll be a bunch of glass left, where the wreck was. And I was just wondering who was responsible for cleaning it up. And I'll hang up and listen to the answer. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. I'll tell you what I think, and I'll find out. Sheriff might know when he gets here, but I'll find out for sure. I think it has to do with the municipality that controls the road. If it's a state road, that would be the state. If it is county road, county, city road, city. That's what I believe the cleanup is left to. That's whose job it is. But if it's different, or we'll find out here in just a few moments. Or if you guys know, 865-457-1380 or 877-711-4005. And once again, Sheriff Barker's on his way, running late this morning. That's okay. We run late all the time. So we'll buy a little time, get him up here and get him on here and get him to answer some questions and tell us what's going on in the world of law enforcement in Anderson County Sheriff's Department. Back in a flash. You guys got any answers or any thoughts to that question? Call me. Dr. Mark Smith, physician's assistant and owner of Way to Go Weight Loss and Anti-Aging Medical Spa, invites you to evolve. This non-invasive cosmetic treatment offers you the ultimate in skin rejuvenation, allows you to trim, tighten, and tone various areas like your face, neck, arms, abdomen, and thighs with precision and effectiveness. It delivers impressive tightening and lifting results.
Hello, my name is Tammy Crawford. I've been a patient with Way to Go for a while now. When I learned of the Evolve machine, I knew I had to try it. 3 months ago, I started the Evolve, and I couldn't be happier with my results. I have lost 2 inches in my arms. I never got this kind of results going to a gym. I'll always be grateful for the Way to Go family and the Evolve for turning my insecurities into confidence.
Call 865-219-8650. 865-219-8650.
So we have 5 locations in Sevierville, Knoxville, Cedar Bluff, Oneida, and Kingston.
Way to Go Weight Loss and Anti-Aging Medical Spa. Once again, you're listening to AM 1380, WYSH, FM 101.1 and 99.5. BBB Brad was telling me that he has confirmed that we're on now all throughout Knox Metro. So if you know somebody that lives in Knoxville, Knox County, in the Knoxville metropolitan area, and they've got Comcast cable, channel 1086 is our smiling face all over Knoxville and East Tennessee now. So, yeah, if you know somebody has Comcast cable, direct them to tune in, dial up anywhere that they happen to be. 1086, we've been saying 1081 or 1086. Most of the time you'll find us on channel 1086, but some are also on 1081. So if you're in Knoxville, Knox County, Powell, wherever that you happen to be, I think we're going all the way from the Plateau up to Johnson City, and you'd like to get in on Trading Time or Ask Your Neighbor, any of the things that we do, tell your friends, tell your neighbors to tune us in. Comcast Cable Channel 1086 or possibly 1081, and then they can participate with us as well. We've been wondering if, we don't know exactly what systems that we're on. Comcast just did this one day. So we're kind of finding out as we go, trial and error. So Brad says we are definitely on in Knoxville. And hope you guys will tune in and dial up. Hang on, waiting on the sheriff.
April 26th at 8 p.m., East Tennessee Concerts presents Twitty and Lynn at the Country Tonight Theater, Pigeon Forge.
Hey, Louisiana woman, Mississippi man, we get together every time we can. The Mississippi River can't keep us apart. There's too much love in this Mississippi heart.
Too much love in this Louisiana heart.
Trey Twitty, the grandson of Conway, and Taylor Lynn, the granddaughter of Loretta, together on stage with the same chemistry their grandparents had.
Love is where you'll find it when you find no love at home. And there's nothing cold as ashes after the fire is gone.
April 26th, 8 p.m. at the Country Tonight Theater, Twitty and Lynn. Get your tickets by calling 865-453-2003 or online at countrytonightpf.com. That's 865-453-2003 or countrytonightpf.com for Twitty and Lynn.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to AM 1380 WYSH.
Happy New Year from Hammers. Get this year started off right with new bargains from Hammers. Since 1952, Hammers has been bringing low prices and incredible deals to East Tennessee. The Hammers family will continue to make sure that our stores provide the same everyday low prices from your favorite brands in clothing and home goods in 2024. We want our customers, old and new, to have the same great shopping experience as in the good old days. Come on out and check out our famous brands like Carhartt, Wrangler, Columbia, Simply Southern, and many of the latest ladies' boutique brands at Hammers' low prices. Redecorating in the new year? Come on out and shop our great selection of area rugs and home decor. So before you shop online, come and shop with Hammers, Clint, Sevierville, Halls, New Tazewell, and Wartburg. A hometown retailer that supports the community you live in. Open 9 to 6, Monday through Saturday. Don't forget to check out our Hammers Instagram and Facebook. And remember, if you miss a day at Hammers, you'll miss a bargain.
Like I said, the sheriff is coming. He sent me a text that he's up and on his way. He had it's his day off, so he's running behind a little bit today. It's also his birthday. And when we get him up here, you guys can call and wish him a happy birthday. In the meantime, Jay said somebody called while we were on the break and said that it is the responsibility of the wrecker service that cleans up the accident. What if there's two? You know, like if you've got 2 or 3 cars involved, there's usually 2 or 3 record companies. Oh, which one of them? I still think it falls back to the actual whoever maintains the road, whoever that's the roads to be maintained and kept safe. So if it's a state road, the state's in charge of doing that. If it's a county road, it's a county. City road, it's a city. So I'm not sure if the record company leaves the mess, if it's just supposed to be left there till another record company cleans it up, or if it's actually going to fall to the municipality or the state or whoever it is that controls, fills the potholes, takes care of that road. That's what I think. I don't think it's solely the record company's responsibility. Could be, but that, again, I've seen wrecks with 4 different record companies on site. Ask your neighbor. Good morning.
It is the record service.
Okay, so they're supposed to clean up all the glass and everything?
Yep.
Well,
not unless it's changed. That's because I used to be over it. It's the record service that if you have 2 different records come, each one of them, whatever car they've got, they're supposed to clean it up. That's
okay.
The responsibility. Now, that could have all changed, but that's what it was when I left down there a few years ago.
Well, there you go. Asked and answered. I appreciate that, Mr. Quainer.
No problem. See you.
See you, buddy. Bye-bye. There you go. See? We learn something new every day. Good morning. Ask your neighbor.
I wanted to complain.
Okay, well, you just complain. We're waiting on the sheriff to get here, so we got plenty of time. Go ahead.
Well, we've been getting a News Sentinel for years, and I don't even know how much that we've been paying them because it came out automatically. But we got a letter. They're going up to $65 a week.
How much?
$65.
A week?
A week.
$65 a week for the newspaper.
And that's right. And neither one of us read it. My husband works a crossword puzzle, and so we decided we'd just cancel. And we called, and they came down to $15 a week. And that just made me furious. So
wow.
I told them we didn't want it to cancel it. But that was just awful that they could give it to us for $15 a week, and then they wanted to charge us $65.
Wow. $65, that's $3,380 for 52 weeks of newspaper. It ain't worth that at all.
Well, it got to the point it wasn't worth anything to us, but we kept getting it because he worked the crossword puzzle. Neither one of us was reading it. So I just wanted to complain, get it off my chest.
No, I'm glad that you did. Man, that's I never knew it would be that much money per week.
Well,
how much is a newspaper if you go to buy a newspaper?
I want to know how much we were paying because it was coming out automatically. I'm going to look on my bank account and see.
I mean,
how
the
much
Sunday
we've been paying.
The Sunday newspaper is what? How much is the Sunday newspaper if you just go buy it?
I don't know.
I don't either, but
I have no clue.
$5 a day is only $35 a week if they charge you $5 every day for the newspaper. They're charging you $10 a day almost for the newspaper.
Let me read this to you.
That's crazy.
Hold on.
Yeah, okay, I got you. That's wow. I had no idea that they had went to that much. What you got? Okay.
Okay.
All righty.
Your subscription rate will be $64.99 per month.
Oh, per month.
Plus the
per month. Okay.
Plus applicable taxes.
Okay, and then when you called, they came down to $15 a month.
$15.
Well, maybe you've given somebody else negotiating power. How about that?
Well, they couldn't have even given it to me after that. I tell you what. Yeah, a month. What did I say, a day?
You said a week.
A week.
Yeah, that's okay, though. All right.
A month.
We got it figured out. So $65 a month.
Yeah.
And then they offered it for $15 a month if you just keep it.
15, yes.
Oops.
So, well, thank you for letting me complain.
Well, you're welcome as you can be. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Well, there's you some negotiating power if you guys are getting it. 865-457-1380, 877-711-4005. I'm not sure if that was the sheriff just came in or not, but we'll take a break here, come back, and get Sheriff Barker on the air.
When you have a wreck, a good day can become a bad day in a hurry. But when it's time to get that car towed away, there is a number you need to know. 865-457-6927. Lowe's Tows. Did you know they work with all insurance agencies and body shops? And they can assist you throughout the whole process. Call 865-457-6927. If you need a tow, you need Lowe's Tows. 865-457-6927. They're locally owned and operated. They will tow anything, anywhere, from a Volkswagen to a semi-truck, from across the street to across the state. The stress of having a wreck is bad enough, so call Lowe's Tows, and that's one less thing you have to worry about. 614 Clinch Avenue in Clinton. Call 865-457-6927 or find them on Facebook at Lowe's Tows.
A new partnership for Deegan. I'm Kyle Rickey. That story next on NASCAR Hot Pass.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Now we get ready to rumble in Richmond.
announcement.
Virginia is for lovers.
You ready?
Of a return to night racing. Of a rocking infield experience that offers unparalleled access to your favorite NASCAR drivers. Of a spring weekend full of friends and electric short track action you'll never forget. NASCAR weekend at Richmond Raceway, March 29th through the 31st. Get your tickets now at richmondraceway.com.
NASCAR Xfinity Series rookie driver Hailie Deegan and her AM racing team will partner with multi-platinum independent musician Cody Jenks for this Saturday's race at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. Deegan will be promoting Jenks' new album, Change the Game, on her number 15 Ford Mustang. Jenks has sold over 2 million tickets and has 4 billion streams across all platforms. Deegan will be looking for a change of luck as the first 4 races of the season have seen some struggles with the best finish of just 15th in Las Vegas. She has 3 prior starts at the Austin, Texas road course in a NASCAR Craftsman truck. For more, see MRN.com. I'm Kyle Rickey. This is NASCAR Hot Pass on the Motor Racing Network.
All right, Sheriff just messaged me. He's on the way. So it's going to be here. It's going to be a few moments, but he's going to get here. We'll get him on. Probably be around the top of the hour, but we will have him on. And in the meantime, 865-457-1380. Asked and answered on who cleans up the glass. I didn't know it was the record company, but it is. There you go. So if you see a bunch of glass there, whoever hauled the cars off is supposed to clean up the glass. There you go. All right.
Hi, folks. Greg, your friendly garden guy here at Willow Ridge Garden Center. When something is worthy of attention, we call it remarkable. Our new shipment of West Coast-grown conifers and Japanese maples is truly remarkable. Weeping and dwarf evergreen cypress, spruce, and pines colored gold, blue, or emerald with striking textures. Or the burgundy and red lacy foliage of our wide selection of Japanese maples will make your landscape remarkable. Willow Ridge Garden Center. Get your hands dirty. It's good for you.
Manure is an abundant fertilizer. Hi, I'm Jody Henke. It's mutually beneficial with cover crops to improve soil and hang on to soil nutrients as you're living the country life.
Living the Country Life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic and from previous shows by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com. We'll return to the show after these messages.
Whenever you're online, Living the Country Life is there too. Like us on Facebook and exchange tips and ideas with people who share your love for the country way of life. Follow us on Twitter at Small Farming for timely news and information. You can also find us on Instagram and Pinterest. See the latest inspired shot from our readers or add a garden tip to your boards. Living the Country Life has all the ideas for your home acreage. Visit us online at livingthecountrylife.com and find us on social media.
If you're looking for new ideas for what to do around your place in the country, register for the Living the Country Life newsletter. Once a week, you'll receive helpful tips in your inbox on a wide variety of seasonal and timely topics, along with so much more. Living the Country Life is for all those people who love to live in the country. Sign up for your free newsletter today by visiting livingthecountrylife.com.
For centuries, livestock manure has been valued for providing nutrients for crops and increasing soil quality. Cover crops do the same thing and prevent nutrients from leaching. Pairing the two together combines their benefits and can address issues such as manure storage capabilities and the number of acres available for spreading. Dan Anderson is an assistant professor in the Ag and Biosystems Engineering Department at Iowa State University. He says there are variables that can affect how well this works.
Depending on what tillage implement, how are we injecting that manure into the soil? How does it disturb the cover crop? How does the cover crop recover? And then things like, what does that do for nutrient cycling? We know that normally we talk about cover crops scavenging for nitrogen, for residual nitrogen in the soil. Well, if we were putting manure on in the fall and still growing that cover crop, it's a little bit different. It's almost like a fertilized crop. So there's just a few differences in how we want to understand that, think about it, and use it in the system.
Should you plant the cover crop before or after you put manure on? He says either one can work. They do see a little bit better tie tie-up of nitrogen if the cover crop is planted first, but the process should be based on how the farmer can integrate it into his system. In terms of water supply, nitrogen from the manure tends to stay put rather than leaching away.
What we've seen is when we've had cover crops integrated in that system, we've reduced nitrogen losses by somewhere around 20 to 30% with the cover crop. So it's actually a benefit. And certainly you can think about cover crops as improving soil tilth and giving us some of that macro pore, maybe potential for flow. But we tend to see the opposite. We get better soil structure and that increases the water holding capacity in that soil. So when we put the manure on, it actually stays in the topsoil.
Learn more about integrating cover crops and manure at livingthecountrylife.com. I'll see you in the country.
Living the Country Life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic, share your tips, and post photos by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com.
All right, guys, going to take a look at the community bulletin board, and then when we finish the bulletin board, Sheriff should be here with us. He's on his way up. We'll get him on the air on Ask Your Neighbor. The third Wednesday of every month, we do that. Allocate out for the sheriff to come up and answer questions. Just tell us what's going on, updating us what's going on with the Anderson County Sheriff's Department. I hope you enjoy it. Like I said, Russell's moving quick, trying to get up here this morning between things, and so we'll get him on in just a few moments right after the bulletin board. It's time for the community bulletin board on WYSH. Medic Regional Blood Center is celebrating the madness of the month of March. Through March 31st, donors will receive a pair of basketball-themed socks. O-positive and O-negative blood donors will receive an e-gift card for donating. O donors receive $20 for a whole blood donation or $25 for an ALYX double red donation. Additionally, platelet donors receive a $25 e-gift card anytime they donate. Want to give back to the community? Skip the basketball-themed socks, and Medic will donate $5 to the Ronald McDonald House. Make an appointment at medicblood.org via the Medic app or by calling 865-524-3074. Celebrate March Madness by giving blood. The Oak Ridge Community Band would like us to pass along that the Oak Ridge Community Band Sounds of Spring concert will take place Sunday, April 14th at First Baptist Church, 1101 Oak Ridge Turnpike. It'll be at 3:30 p.m. It's free to the public, featuring a variety of entertaining musical selections. If you need more information, call 865-202-2773. But again, it's free, April 14th at First Baptist Church, 1101 Oak Ridge Turnpike, Sunday, April 14th. The Oak Ridge Recreation and Parks Department will host its annual community egg hunt on Saturday, March 23rd at 11 a.m. The free egg hunt will be a traditional-style egg hunt held at A.K. Bissell Park. Parking will be available at both East and West Civic Center parking lots. In the event of severe weather, eggs and prizes will be handed out via drive-through at the Oak Ridge Recreation Center. The event is limited to children age 4 through 4th grade. Families are asked to pre-register at orrecparks.recdesk.com. orrecparks.recdesk.com. Pre-registration helps staff plan for the correct number of eggs and other supplies. The Recreation Department staff will make a reasonable effort to provide appropriate accommodations for children who require an accessible area to hunt. Parents are encouraged to call the Rec Department at 865-425-3450 and make arrangements. 425-3450. Adult volunteers age 16 and up are needed to hide eggs, supervise the hunts, and assist participants. All volunteers should be prepared to work from 9 a.m. to 12 noon on the day of the event and should dress according to the weather. The first 50 volunteers to sign up will receive an event T-shirt. A pizza lunch will be served to all volunteers immediately following the event. For more information, call 865-425-3450 or visit the Oak Ridge Parks and Recreation website at orrecparks.oakridgetn.gov. Remote Area Medical, RAM, a major nonprofit provider of pop-up clinics delivering free quality dental, vision, and medical care to those in need, will hold a free 2-day clinic March 23rd and 24th. RAM will be set up at Jellicoe High School in Jellicoe, 141 High School Lane, Jellicoe, Tennessee, for 2 days, March 23rd and 24th. All RAM services are free. No ID is required. Free dental, vision, and medical services will be provided on a first-come, first-served basis. The patient parking lot will open no later than 11:59 p.m. midnight on Friday night, March 22nd, and remain open for the duration of the clinic. Once in the parking lot, additional information regarding clinic opening, processes, and needed steps will be provided. The clinic doors will open at 6 a.m. If you need more information or you'd like to volunteer, visit ramusa.org. That's ramusa.org. Again, the clinic is set for March 23rd and 24th at Jellicoe High School, Jellicoe. The Medford Volunteer Fire Department would like you to know their annual chili supper and live auction is going to take place April 13th, beginning at 5 p.m. at Clinch River Baptist Church, 407 Cane Creek Road in Clinton. Need more information? You can call 865-776-2386 or 865-333-6627. Medford Volunteer Fire Department Annual Chili Supper and Live Auction, April 13th. The Norris Lake Project team is calling for volunteers to lend a helping hand in the 15th annual Spring 5-County Norris Lake Cleanup, spanning Anderson, Campbell, Claiborne, Union, and Granger counties. It's taking place on Saturday, March 23rd, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. The event aims to preserve the natural beauty and conserve the resources of the Norris Lake watershed. The cleanup effort will be conducted at 3 locations, including Anderson County Park, Flat Hollow Marina, and Hickory Star Marina. Volunteers will have access to boats that will transport them to and from cleanup sites inaccessible by land. Additionally, barges will be utilized to transport collected trash back to the shore. Volunteers with boats are encouraged to bring them to assist in the efforts. All volunteers will be asked to wear appropriate footwear, preferably boots. Volunteers can also bring gloves and life jackets if they have them, especially for youth participants. Minors must be accompanied by an adult and are required to have registration and release forms signed by a parent. If you'd like to register and volunteer or obtain further information about the event, visit the website, norrislakeproject.com, norrislakeproject.com. Registration can also be completed on-site the morning of the cleanup. If you'd like additional information, you can contact the Norris Lake Project team at 865-659-2829. That's 659-2829, or email info@norrislakeproject.com. The Anderson County Commission is having a strategic planning workshop March 27th from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. to be held at the Anderson County Health Department Conference Room, 710 North Main Street in Clinton. The purpose of this workshop is to continue discussing plans of capital outlays and goals of the department over the next 5 years. Again, that's March 27th, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Anderson County Health Department Conference Room. In an effort to enhance safety and promote responsible medication management, ASAP of Anderson has ordered over 200 medical lock boxes that are free to anyone who lives, works, or worships in Anderson County. Medication lock boxes are designed to provide a secure storage solution for both prescription medications and over-the-counter drugs. By using lock boxes, those in Anderson County can take a step toward keeping their families safer. Some of the benefits of having a lock box include child and pet safety. Lock boxes can prevent accidental poisonings, especially among curious children and pets. Preventing medication misuse. Lock boxes play a key role in preventing medication misuse by restricting access to prescription drugs. This may be the case in households where there are concerns about medication misuse or addiction. Home security. Medication lock boxes offer layers of security for medications, protecting them from theft or misuse within the house. If you'd like to order your free medication lock box from ASAP of Anderson, visit asapofanderson.org. That's asapofanderson.org. Attention veterans, the Knoxville Bar Association and Legal Aid of East Tennessee would like you to know they're offering an in-person free legal advice clinic. Any veteran seeking legal help is encouraged to attend the Legal Advice Clinic for Veterans from noon until 2 p.m. The clinics will be held every other month, April 10th, June 12th, August 14th, October 9th, and December 11th. There are no clinics scheduled for January, March, May, July, September, or November. Veterans who are not able to attend the clinic in person are encouraged to continue to use the telephone clinic option. Pre-registration is required for telephone clinic, and veterans are asked to call Legal Aid of East Tennessee at 865-637-0484 to pre-register. This is a general advice clinic with a wide variety of legal issues, including family law, landlord, tenant, bankruptcy, criminal defense, consumer protection, contract disputes, child support, and personal injury, among other issues. Please note, this is an advice-only clinic. Clients can expect legal advice, but no wills will be drafted at this clinic nor legal work performed. In the office of the Knox County Public Defender's Community Law Office. Thank you for listening to the WYSH Community Bulletin Board. If your church group or civic organization has anything of community interest that you would like us to include on the Community Bulletin Board, just send it to us. Send it to Ron at WYSHradio.com. That's Ron at WYSHradio.com. Or you can fax it to us at 865-457-4440. That's 457-4440. Or you can mail it. Send it to WYSH, Post Office Box 329, Clinton 37717. The Community Bulletin Board is brought to you as a service from our friends at Anderson Crossing Pharmacy.
Another impeachment inquiry hearing. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. It's about to start in the Republican-led House, probing Biden family overseas business dealings.
We got millions of dollars from foreign entities flowing through 20 different companies for what?
Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan tells Fox Business.
It was for access to the brand, and the brand was Joe Biden.
Democrats say there's no evidence the president did anything wrong.
Republicans say today is a serious hearing. It's legitimate. It's supposed to go over the problem of influence peddling. Democrats would argue today is just an opportunity for Republicans to show an empty chair with the nameplate Hunter Biden, who is not expected to show.
So with the president's son skipping the hearing, Fox's David Spunt reports from the Capitol. Two others get the spotlight.
Former Hunter business associate Tony Bobulinski, and we'll talk about what he perceives as influence peddling at the hands of the Biden family. Lev Parnas is a former Rudy Giuliani associate who went to prison for a brief time and will do the same, but he will focus on the Trump family and Trump administration. He's a Democratic witness.
President Biden will campaign again today in Phoenix.
This election is not a referendum on me. It's an election between me and a guy named Trump.
Both he and the former president won contests in Arizona, Kansas, Illinois, and Ohio. There was also a Trump victory in Florida. Both are already the presumptive nominees. An hour from now, a federal appeals court will consider a Texas border law it blocked last night, hours after the Supreme Court had unblocked it.
SB 4 would make illegal border crossings a state crime. That means migrants found crossing the border illegally could be arrested and then sent back to Mexico without ever being turned over to Border Patrol. However, the Mexican government says it won't comply if the law does go into effect.
Fox's Nate Foy in Eagle Pass, Texas. The baseball season's underway. Los Angeles Dodgers just beat the San Diego Padres 5-2 in South Korea in the MLB regular season opener. America's listening to Fox News.
You can live out your MasterChef dreams when you find a professional on Angie to tackle your dream kitchen remodel. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Tax Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. This tax season, you get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a Samsung Galaxy A14 included when you buy an extended silver unlimited plan. So you can give your janky phone to your kid. Yeah!
Switch to Straight Talk. Find us at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com. Device offer ends 4/14/24. Taxes and fees apply.
The Federal Reserve is meeting for a second day assessing the economy. And then this afternoon, the Fed is expected to announce it's not ready yet to cut interest rates, which were raised to lower inflation. Meanwhile, we're looking at the stock market so far. Some declines. The Dow's down 24 points. The Nasdaq's falling 16. The S&P 500 is losing 2 points. And there's an update now. On a controversial merger,
Nippon Steel is looking to complete its purchase of U.S. Steel by September and plans to move its U.S. headquarters from its current location in Houston to Pittsburgh after finalizing the deal. U.S. Steel is based in Pittsburgh. The United Steelworkers Union opposes the takeover by Japan's Nippon Steel. President Biden has expressed his desire that U.S. Steel remain an American steel company that is domestically owned and operated. Nippon says it remains engaged with the Steelworkers Union and looks to form a closer relationship with the community by moving the headquarters to Pittsburgh. Jenny Coselda, Fox News.
There'll be a House hearing this morning into China buying up American farmland, but in Indiana.
With support from both Democrats and Republicans, House Bill 1183 heads to Indiana Governor Republican Eric Holcomb that would ban countries like China, Cuba, and Russia from owning or leasing farmland in the state and would impose restrictions on real estate transactions within a 10-mile radius of military installations. China has hoarded about 400,000 acres of farmland in the U.S., as some 24 states have passed similar land restrictions. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
The price of oil is down more than $1 this morning to $82 a barrel, but gas is up 3 more pennies today. AAA's national average for regular $3.51 a gallon, 12 cents higher than last Wednesday. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
For your weather today, look for mostly sunny skies across East Tennessee. It's a chilly start. We rise through the 30s, 40s, and 50s. On the way home this afternoon, expect sunshine through scattered clouds, highs reaching into the mid-60s. Normal high would be in the lower 60s. From the CaptainAccurate.com Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist David Aldridge for WYSH.
On your Wednesday, I'm Joe Miller with your local information news. Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency said an alligator caught in Norris Lake on Monday. Officials say Union County Wildlife Officer Rick Roberts responded to the call from an angler who said he caught the alligator in Dotson Creek, also known as Butcher Hollow in Norris Lake, at about 5 o'clock Monday. When Officer Roberts arrived, officials said the angler had pinned it to the ground behind the head and said he caught it on swim bait while fishing. Once verifying it was an alligator, TWRA says it was taken to Little Ponderosa Zoo and Rescue in Anderson County. Alligators are classified as a Class 1 wildlife species, which are considered inherently dangerous to humans and may only be possessed by permitted exhibitors or commercial propagators. No one can pose a Class 1 or Class 2 species without first obtaining the appropriate permit. Monday, officers with the Kingston Police Department arrived at the Rocky Top Market at 935 East Ray Street in reference to a call for an unconscious person. CPR performed on the individual, but unsuccessful. Detectives and medical examiner responded to the scene for the investigation. Currently, no foul play is suspected. The deceased is a 55-year-old female, name of the victim being withheld pending notification of next of kin. The incident still under investigation. Remote Area Medical, or RAM, a major nonprofit provider of pop-up clinics delivering free quality dental, vision, and medical care to those in need, holding a free 2-day clinic. Saturday and Sunday, RAM's going to be set up at the Jellicoe High School at 141 High School Lane, Jellicoe. Clinic doors open at 6 a.m. The clinic made possible in part due to the generous support of Camel Expeditionary. The brackets have been revealed, and Medic celebrating through March 31st. Donors receiving a pair of basketball-themed socks. O positive and O negative donors receiving an e-gift card for donating. O donors receive $20 for whole blood donation or $25 for an ALXY double red donation. Appointments can be made online at medicblood.org. Thanks to everyone who gives blood. ORNL Federal Credit Union recently announcing the appointment of Jennifer Lopez Cuchis as Chief Strategy and Growth Officer. That'll be effective on February 19th. The position is new to the $3.65 billion organization. Cuchis will lead ORNL FCU's largest growth-driving areas, including lending, marketing, as well as data analytics. Have a great Wednesday. For more local information news, visit WYSHradio.com.
It's tax season and you're wondering what to do with that refund check. Here's a suggestion. Shylock's Pawn has all kinds of things at really great prices that will stretch that refund farther. Guns, jewelry, TVs, video games, musical instruments, fishing gear, and more. As you can see, the selection is huge. You never know what you'll find at Shylock's, so when you get that refund check, come to Shylock's and save. Shylock's Pawn, 1204 Clinch Avenue in South Clinton, 865-457-2960. And remember, Shylock's has cash for you.
April 26th at 8 p.m., East Tennessee Concerts presents Twitty and Lynn at the Country Tonight Theater, Pigeon Forge.
Hey, Louisiana woman, Mississippi man, we get together every time we can. The Mississippi River much love in this Mississippi heart.
Too much love in this Louisiana heart.
Trey Twitty, the grandson of Conway, and Taylor Lynn, the granddaughter of Loretta, together on stage with the same chemistry their grandparents had.
Love is where you'll find it when you find no love at home. And there's nothing cold as ashes after the fire is gone.
April 26th, 8 p.m. at the Country Tonight Theater. Twitty and Lynn. Get your tickets by calling 865-453-2003 or online at countrytonightpf.com. That's 865-453-2003 or countrytonightpf.com for Twitty and Lynn.
Win up to $250,000 this month in the Mint and Match promotion at the Mint Gaming Hall. You can be chosen to play in the Friday and Saturday drawings and match your way up to a $250,000 prize. Take a free swipe on Mondays through Thursdays to win up to $500 free play. Play Mint and Match at the Mint Gaming Hall in Williamsburg, Kentucky. Check out themintgaming.com for details. Problem gambling? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When it just got no sense.
The madness has begun. Hey guys, it's Mark from Rusty Wallace Chevrolet in Clinton. You can score big with these deals. New Equinox, only $28,800 or $399 a month. Or how about a new four-wheel drive crew cab Silverado, only $44,700 or enjoy 2.9% for 72 months. And don't forget, all new Chevys come with Rusty's exclusive 200,000-mile warranty. So together we ride at Rusty Wallace Chevrolet in Clinton or visit us online at rustywallacechevrolet.com where Chevys cost less.
All righty. Better late than never. Morning, Sheriff.
Good morning.
Thank you. I told everybody you were probably just celebrating your birthday.
Well, I wouldn't call it celebrating, but
Pulling
it is
weeds.
my birthday, yeah.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Appreciate you spending part of it with us here this morning. So, what's going on at the Anderson County Sheriff's Department these days?
Well, it's the same old, other than it's time of year we get ready for budget.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of going through that, calculating, seeing where everything's at, because with this new budget cycle, this is our first one after our raises.
Mm-hmm.
And, that had merit pay and longevity pay involved. And so we're seeing the impact of that.
Okay.
So we're working through that. Everything appears to be on course. The two biggest issues probably that we're dealing with at the moment is just medical, which is always a problem for us at the jail. We've had I think we maybe talked about it a little bit last time, but we've got some pretty big medical bills.
Yeah,
about to hit, and other than that, we had a great story with the marathon down there at the 61 Spur. I don't know if you heard about that.
Tell me about it.
So a clerk comes in to work that morning and opens up, and she just calls the sheriff's office and says, "Hey, there's a suspicious vehicle out here. If you'd send somebody to check it out for us." And they dispatchers ask them the questions, do you see any occupants? Yeah, there's two people in it, and they're at the gas pumps. One gets out and kind of meanders around, but nobody came in, and it just seems suspicious to me. So our deputy gets dispatched, and he's heading down there, and this is right at shift change for us. And so he's grabbing it before his shift ends. And as he pulls into the parking lot, they're pulling ski masks over their face. They're about to go in and rob the place.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one, that tells you that they're not very good at it, because
they've been sitting there for a while contemplating.
Yeah. And two, you wouldn't want to do it first thing in the morning, because the only thing that's in there is the petty cash to get the till going, right? And so he pulls in there and lights them up, and they run, and he chases them back through into Clinton, down Laurel Road, into Oak Ridge, and Oak Ridge spike strips the car for us. On the west end of Oak Ridge, and then there was a small foot pursuit with the driver. Passenger stayed put, and but yeah, they were going to rob the place, and and it was hysterical, their timing. As they're pulling the ski mask down,
He comes rolling up.
Pulls in, but I tell you, the thing there that is of some real value for the public is, man, call us.
Oh, yeah. See something, say something.
Yeah, because, we can't be everywhere at once. And more importantly, it's just really, it gives us a reason to be there and to make contact and ask questions.
Sure.
And, and the timing of that was perfect. So, but yeah, that was pretty funny.
I want to ask you something that's not about your department, but it affects all police officers. We had a shooting here in Clinton last week, and tell folks a little bit how that's dealt with, because I've had people call in. I know that the state Tennessee's taken over. Does that, anytime that there is an officer shooting, does TBI step in? How does that happen?
Yeah, so here in Anderson County, we always ask the TBI to come investigate. You want a third party, independent party to do it. Now, in your larger places like Metro Nashville, they may handle their own. Who knows? But I do know that almost every time, without exception, it's the TBI. I can't even speak about Knox County and Knoxville City. They may trade in and out. I don't know. But the TBI comes in and handles everything in Anderson County. We've had some officer-involved shootings, and every time they come in.
Would you guys, does the agency just be hands off and turn it all over to the state that way? That everything's on the up?
Yeah. So what you do is you secure the scene, right? And your first call is to General Clark, and General Clark then notifies the TBI, and then they send agents out, and like I said, you secure the crime scene, and then they get there and take over.
Okay.
And it's everything from actually collecting the bullet casings to interviews and everything in between.
Does the actual scene determine the amount of time it takes for them to close something on an officer-related shooting?
Yeah, that is one of the things. It takes days, weeks, sometimes, because it's not even so much as the physical size of the scene, but if there's
detail,
lab stuff that has to happen. And there's always going to be lab stuff, but it's just simply because the first thing they're going to do is draw blood from the officer to make sure, he's not under the influence of anything.
Sure.
And that's every single time. And then the interviews can take quite a while, depending on how many officers are on scene, witnesses. For example, our last one on I-75, which is currently being litigated, that one had four officers involved, counting another agency, but there were motorists that had to stop, and of course, one's on the quote front row. They need to be identified and interviewed as well.
Gotcha.
As to what they saw. So it can take a while, and then of course attorneys get involved, and that can draw it out as well.
Sure. I just was kind of curious because I didn't know if there was kind of an average time it took, or if it was just based, each incident kind of dictates its own time frame.
It does. That's a great way of putting it. Each incident dictates its own time frame.
Let me ask this too. Somebody asked me, have we seen, or have you guys seen, any uptick or any take at all in illegal immigrants in Anderson County?
I can't say we have in Anderson County.
Okay.
I'm sure. So long ago, when we first started, I took this Spanish for law enforcement, right? And it was just to get you through a traffic stop.
Gotcha.
And one of the things that really stuck with me was they called it a secret society, right? They said they come to your community and they're so under the radar.
Yeah.
They just work, don't look for trouble, and next thing you know, there's a lot. By the time by the time you pick up on it.
Yeah.
So my guess would be that they're here.
Yeah.
But we're just not having a whole lot of contact with them. Every now and again, we'll get a DUI or a PI at the jail.
Mm-hmm.
But not a lot. Not a lot at all.
We had folks call week before last, I think, said that a busload of illegal immigrants had been dropped off in Pigeon Forge, and then I saw where part of, I think it was from the Texas where they came in, they sent 600 of them to the state of Tennessee. I just didn't know if
Texas
we had... Yeah, or it was either Texas or, one of those border communities that are shipping them out.
Can't imagine Texas was sending them to us.
I
They not remember what we did at Alamo?
Come on, guys. Send them to Maine. But I don't know if it was Texas. I know that we supposedly got a busload of 600. I don't know how, or a load.
So, as far as Governor Abbott in Texas, my understanding is that he's been shipping them to the sanctuary cities.
Okay.
So I would be a little surprised, but it could be true.
I don't know. I just wondered if it had affected us in any way, shape, form, or fashion, because I hadn't heard of anything.
No, but now I know, for example, Loudoun County, even prior to the border crisis, had a pretty large population of Hispanics.
Is the reason that we have more areas of illegals here, is it because of the work that's available in the area?
Yeah, so that, really, honestly, it used to be, and you know what, and to whoever asked you that, there may be some truth to it. Typically, early on when I was on patrol, when we would see them, they were generally passing through Anderson County if we ran into them at all, and they were all going to work farms, right? The last one that I recall was heading to Michigan for tomato season, right? But you're seeing a lot of them in the construction industry too now.
Really?
So and now that would make sense. It doesn't make sense Governor Abbott was sending them, but it would make some sense that they're going to where economies are good. And there's a lot of construction going on.
Yeah, this is about 6 weeks ago. Nearly 600 non-citizen immigrants processed at the southwest border said Middle Tennessee is their intended destination. They will be released into the U.S. according to a letter from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security.
Wow. 600
of them coming to Middle Tennessee. Yeah. Metro Nashville also received a letter alerting them. City of Franklin, Metro Nashville.
You're kidding? Wow.
600 of them, baby. So it makes those guys' jobs down there a little more fun, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Police officers. How do you deal with that? I watched in the news where Texas is fighting with our own government to take, criminals that come across the border and send them back, and they're telling them they're not allowed to do that. And so what do you guys do if you arrest somebody breaking the law? Or, how does that work when they're not even a citizen? Do they have rights? Do they not have rights? Do you send them home? Do you put them in jail? What do you do with them?
Yeah, so we would arrest if we catch them breaking the law. Like I mentioned, DUI, PI.
Sure.
We treat them like we do everyone else, but we do notify ICE that we have them. And then ICE
may or may not do something?
Exactly.
I remember years ago, it was back when, you remember Dormus Miller when he worked for the state of Tennessee? Do you remember Dormus?
I do not.
It was a long time ago. He was a friend of our family's, but this is a long time. I remember they had a van. They pulled over a van, and there was 19 or 20 in that van, and, they detained him and called ICE, and ICE told them to let him go. Yeah. They just didn't have, at that time, the closest ICE that they could have brought somebody from was Memphis at that time, and they just said, let them go.
Yeah, that's primarily what happens. But man, with what has happened at the border, it's we're being overrun.
From a real law enforcement perspective, there's people put so much politics behind it, and they try to color it to whatever their politics. You know what I mean?
Right.
They try to make a situation worse. If they're on one side, they try to make it better and not so bad on the other. But from a law enforcement standpoint, without any politics involved, what kind of threat or non-threat does it pose, when we're going to have, if there's 600 that they've sent letters to Franklin, Nashville, and everybody else said we're cutting them loose in your area of the woods, how many, are spread out through the rest of the state that we don't know about? And then what does that pose to you guys?
So for me, look, I am truly welcome anybody to this country that wants to come, but I want you to come legally.
Absolutely.
We need to know who they are. That's the bottom line. I remember as a kid, I guess it was late 70s, early 80s, Fidel Castro was
open the jails.
Opening his prison.
The movie Scarface is about that. He sent all of them over.
And was sending them to Florida on rafts.
Or whatever they could float on.
And it just, to me, we have to know who these folks are. If you're honestly coming here to work and assimilate, man, I'm for it. I really am. It doesn't matter to me where you're from. But when you allow these, as our federal government has done, when you allow this unknown folks to come in, and it's proven beyond a reasonable doubt that we're catching criminals, right?
Yeah.
Amongst other things, we're inviting trouble, and particularly when we have some of our larger cities getting away from
law enforcement.
I mean, just ignoring what's on the books.
But they're going to lead to their own demise sooner or later if they're not.
But I don't know.
And then yesterday, I was just looking at this to confirm. A judge in Illinois ruled that an illegal man who's in the country illegally has the constitutional right to own and carry a firearm for self-defense.
Yeah, that's insane.
How do you do that?
That's insanity. So I think it was San Francisco elected a non-citizen to their city council.
I just don't know how someone has a constitutional right when you're not from the country.
That's right, you don't. I mean, it's...
According to this judge in Illinois, Chicago, this illegal alien does. He did. Part of the charges they had brought him up on, I think, was carrying a weapon. And he fought that it was his right to be able to carry a weapon for self-defense, and he won.
So I just don't understand for me, I just don't get how we think that's...
Undocumented immigrants now have the right to own and carry guns, according to Illinois judge. That's going to make it more fun, isn't it?
But we literally don't even know who these folks are.
Yeah, how do they... if you're not from here, we don't know who you are, how in the world would you buy a gun? I mean, the process we have to go through to buy a gun, pretty intense. And now even at gun shows, I bought a gun at a gun show recently. And you sit there and it's instant, so it's pretty quick, but they run it through and, they know anything there is to know about you in just a matter of minutes.
I can promise you that gun that he was caught with was not purchased through a store or a gun show.
Yeah, see, that by itself,
not necessarily stolen.
But, yeah.
But it just wasn't a business transaction.
Again, I'm not cold-hearted at all. I'm not, I say all the time, it's easy to sit here behind a mic and say what you would do if you were in complete control and power. It's another thing when you're turning people away that really just want a better life, But if they don't come in the way that they're supposed to, and we don't know who they are, it just...
Yeah, that's a problem.
What happens is the people that are bad take advantage of that, and it ruins it for even the people that are good. And I've said this before, if we're going to open the borders, we're going to do this, there needs to be new legislation on how you get in. As opposed, they're talking about, give me this money and we'll protect the border. Well, we've passed laws to protect the border that aren't in effect right now, so it's not going to matter what law we're going to put into effect if we're not going to do it.
Right, exactly.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. And so, what do we as the American people have as recourse when our government says, we don't care? It's your country, you build it, your taxpayers pay for it, your tax dollars pay for it, but we're going to give credit cards, cell phones, bus tickets, and hotel fare to this guy from from Guadalajara or wherever, because he wants to come.
Yeah, I don't know.
They got better health care than I do.
Yeah, it's shocking.
I'm going to leave and walk across the border next time I get sick.
Yeah, I mean, it's shocking that the stories that you hear from what's happening at the border and how they're, really the treatment they're getting, it's 10 times better than what they were experiencing back home. And I honestly don't know what our recourse is. But I can tell you it's going to come to a head. But the problem will be there will already be millions here.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, they could be a criminal in another country, get across the border and reinvent themselves.
What? There were 19 people that brought down the World Trade Center.
Yeah.
And 27,000 that we know of war fighting age, just Chinese men.
Yes.
Not women, children, men, yes. Chinese men. Not to mention anybody else that might be our adversary.
Which we have plenty of them, it feels like.
But as law enforcement, as your deputies, you guys, there's no separate, different protocol or anything like that. It's just if they're PI, they go to jail for PI.
Yeah, and then we notify ICE. We notify the federal government. And
without them being in the system or without them being an American citizen, what happens? I mean, how do they go through the system that they're not in?
We have to ask them who they are. And sometimes they have IDs on them, but, we don't know if they're legitimate or not. I mean, they could be being booked under a fictitious name. And we get their fingerprints.
Yeah.
And
so they get bail and leave, and they're in the wind.
Yeah. If they choose to be, yeah. I mean, yeah. So the other problem and why, and listen, everybody's talking about it, but I don't know why the federal government's so slow to move on it. What it's doing to our infrastructure and like particularly these sanctuary cities, you hear of overcrowded classrooms and how it's really impacting the education of your natural born citizens because they're having to change things up or slow things down because a third of the class doesn't speak English.
I'll tell you, Tracy and I got to go to New York for New Year's, and it was so new to us. It wasn't like we could spot all that. It wasn't like we knew where the illegal immigrants were being taken, but we figured it out. There is a certain place, and you can tell because they were congregated there. That must have been a place they were staying. Didn't have anything really to do, and they were just kind of just waiting, milling about, sitting and waiting, and I didn't know what they were waiting on. I saw on the news later they were, they feed them, they give them cards, and they were staying in that. I guess that was a hotel where they were staying. And then a few weeks after we got back, I saw where the citizens there got really angry because they had taken 2 of the public schools and put them in the public schools. The kids weren't getting to go to school. They were going to do teleschool because they had put them in their school.
Yeah, I think the same's happening in California as
well. Yeah, it's crazy. I just, for the life of me, I just don't understand. And I've asked people that seem to be, on that side of the issue to explain how that's supposed to work. And outside of just, people saying we shouldn't have any borders at all, I don't know that there's an argument. I mean, that's not an argument in itself, but that's people say, oh, we shouldn't even have any borders. People should be able to come and go as they please. But no, you got a door on your house for a reason.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Fences make good neighbors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just didn't know if it had any effect here in the county, and if so, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you something that happened one time here in the Clinton City school system, which I love. I'm not throwing off on the Clinton City school system at all. But 2017, maybe, 2018, they had a little play. They have a play at the school, and James David and my twins were there. And they let the kids go up and tell what they were thankful for.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And James David walked up in all of his pride, and he said, I'm thankful for Donald J. Trump. Now build that wall.
Oh, no.
Of course, the place erupted and went crazy. And that was the first of two of these little things they were going to do. And I got a call from the school that said, hey, we're not saying to do it or not to do it, but just wanted to make you aware there might be someone in the audience that it would offend. And I said, why? Well, there is an undocumented in the system. I was like, oh, okay. But I thought to myself at that moment, if we knew that, and we know that, school now, teachers they're going to take care of kids, right, period, no matter what. But if we knew that, it's like, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to call somebody? You're supposed to just let it go? Like I said, I know teachers are going to educate kids. They don't care. Right. They love children, period. Yes. They're going to take care of it. That's not their concern where your mom and dad brought you from. They're just there to take care of you and educate you. But that was the first time that I kind of went, what? Yeah. In Clinton? In Anderson County?
So... I shouldn't. But
be careful.
Yes, I know. I'm going to tell you this. So, I spoke to a gentleman one time. He's in another county. He gets a phone call from a teacher. And they said, we want to talk to you about your son. And he said, what'd the boy do? Mm-hmm. And he said, well, we're having trouble with him. He keeps referring to another student in the class. He's calling him a Mexican. Okay? And it's very hurtful to this other kid, and we've talked to him till we're blue in the face, trying to get him to stop. And so the dad says, "Well, let me ask you something."
Is he?
Is the kid Mexican?
Uh-huh.
And he said, and the teacher says, "Well, he is of Hispanic descent. I'm not sure that."
Yeah.
He's Mexican or not. And he said, "Well, I'll talk to him, but why aren't you calling his parents and ask them why they're not instilling some pride in who he is instead of calling me?" But it really kind of got to a slippery slope, and we're really this whole woke and I just it's baffling to me.
Well, I take it completely away take all the social BS out of it, and I look at it from law and order, or just chaos versus not chaos. It's about defunding police officers. It's about, again, I'm just talking about from law and order and chaos. I'm not talking about if we should open our hearts and as Christians take care of other people, because we should. I know we should. But it also, Christ said, "Render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's." And he said to pray for our leaders, and we are under the subjection as Christians of our leaders. So the law should be the law.
All right.
So again, I'm not cold-hearted, but I just from a aspect of law and order, when you got people that again, we don't have to deal with it much here, but they seem to have a disdain for the police, that until somebody robs them, and then you can't get there fast enough.
They're super interesting.
It just seems like the whole movement is eroding a bunch of our foundation.
Yeah, and I don't know what you think, or what people who subscribe to that think the end result's going to be. I mean,
communism, third world country socialism, where everybody is the same, taken care of. The government answers all the questions, takes care of all your medical bills. Everybody makes the same salary. Everybody gets the same bread rations. Everybody gets. It just. What else can it be? If you put the government in charge, everything's going to be screwed up, and that's pretty much where we're headed.
Yeah.
Well,
scary.
It is scary. Good news is we don't have a whole lot of bad stuff going on right here in the county to talk about. That's good. Not a lot of problems going on.
Yeah, that's it's just kind of course now. It generally picks up as the weather warms up.
Yeah.
Cabin fever.
Summertime comes, people get out more. I was telling somebody the other day, we were talking about Narcan, and I relayed a story of how your department sees the same people on a regular basis. They thought I was lying.
No, that's fact. Yeah.
Yeah, and I said no. We've got people that die on a regular basis, almost, and Narcan brings them back.
So there is a, I don't want to call it a movement, but there's discussions, and I think it's available in some places. And I had real mixed emotions about it. where they were talking about, hey, if you offer them Narcan once they make bond. So I send them out the door with Narcan, right?
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, outside of tracking it and being held accountable for the Narcan, right? I don't know about that, right? Because there's 1,000 other places they can go get it.
Sure.
If they want. And then the counter to that is I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but there's medication you can offer them that makes them physically sick.
If they
use.
Okay.
And I thought, now that's something I'd offer them.
Yeah, because that stops it as opposed to fixes it.
Yeah.
Narcan fixes it once you cross the line. This would prohibit you.
Yeah. And so I mean, and I'm like, boy, that's coming, I don't know. I mean, look, you want to save lives regardless of how they're there or why they're there, and Narcan has saved a lot of lives and saved a lot of people multiple times.
Sure.
However, we have enough going on at the jail
than to be a pharmacy.
Yeah, than to have to track that and stuff as well. Because I just know that there's tons of places you can get it for free now.
Well, yeah, and they should, I mean, if they want to set up some kind of program, they should work in conjunction with those places, and, the people that need it can go and get it. But it just seems to me as from your perspective, it seems like you're getting ready to be, if you're not already, in a very fluid situation to where how do you deal with somebody who you don't know who they are? They don't have to tell you who they are. They're not from this country, but they yet have the constitutional right to carry a gun. We've given them, and anything else that they, I guess, choose to claim, it just seems like it muddies the water of being a police officer.
I can't imagine that happens anywhere else in the world.
Well, no. I mean, we had a Marine
go to jail.
We had a Marine that crossed just feet into the Mexican border here a few years ago. If you remember, and he had weapons in his trunk. He stayed in prison for months, if not longer, for illegally crossing because he had his, I don't know if it was his service weapon. He had a few rifles. I mean, he had guns in the back of his car that he said he just didn't remember, didn't count on.
Right.
And just for that, for coming across, and they caught him as he was coming across. They found it. He went to prison in Mexico.
Yeah.
And it took us months to get him out. And
I didn't remember that.
We cut the fence for him right now. They say they're cutting the fence so that animals can migrate. This is a government. This is our government on a fence that we built. Now have went through and cut holes, so I can't even remember what the type of animals are, that we're having a rough time moving back and forth. Not that there's not enough land in Mexico or in Texas for them to get along, but we've cut holes in it now. And, not just the jackalopes use the holes.
Right.
So I'm saying to myself, what's the end game to all of that? I
mean, I don't know.
The closest thing, Marsha Blackburn said something that I thought, I guess is as close to it as you're going to get. There's a couple things. All people, citizens or not, are counted in a census. We have to do that. And the census determines how many representatives that you have. And so if you take and you send people to these areas, and then you need more representatives from the area. And if that area is a blue area, you have a blue representative in Congress. 1. 2, right now you don't have to show, they're fighting for ID to vote. I showed mine here.
Yeah.
But there are some places you don't have to.
Right.
And so what would stop,
Oh, yeah, 100%. So I've never been a conspiracy theorist.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm getting there. Because I remember when I first heard that exact scenario that it was about, I thought, well, there's no way. Just because they're here doesn't mean. I mean, no, it does.
Mm-hmm.
It does. It would mean more representation, more senators, more Congress.
I mean, I think everybody's settled on about 14 million that's come in.
Yeah.
Here in the last 3 years.
Insane.
Yeah. I mean, 14 million people, that the last election was decided in less than 20-some-odd thousand votes when you get down to the Electoral College, and you get down, you look at Michigan, and you look at Wisconsin, you look at Georgia, Arizona, you look at some of these places where it was super close, and any shift on any one of them could have changed the presidency, when electoral votes. Man, when you look at that, you take and stack 14 million people, you just get 10% of them to move in the direction you want. That's 1.4 million extra votes.
Yeah.
Did I mention to you that movie 2,000 Mules? Did I mention that to you before? You're talking about conspiracy theories. Watch that.
Yes, I think you.
If you get a moment, 2,000 Mules. That's what it's called, and it will change your perspective on a lot of things, because it's. The way that they did it is they tracked people using people's cell phones and pinging them, and they would be able to tell every time they went to a voter box, every time they, and they've got them on camera. These people would take hundreds of votes to 20 or 30 boxes a night in Atlanta.
Wow.
And they've got them on film, and then they worked with the cell companies. They would trace it. They'd go here, ping here, and then ping here, and then they'd make their routine, their routes nightly. They would show where they'd go, pick it up, and then they'd take these ballots and stuff them. So, yeah, you want to see if you really want to climb down the rabbit hole, conspiracy theory, 2,000 Mules. There you go. So when you have an hour and a half of time just to waste, it's pretty interesting. A lot of people throw it out as hogwash, but I don't know. You just have to watch it and see. So all in all, though, things have been pretty quiet since you were here last time.
Yeah, absolutely. For the most part.
That's good.
Yeah.
And everything. Our fiscal year, what, June to June?
Yes.
Okay. So April, May, you guys get everything ready.
It kicks off July.
Gotcha.
Yeah. July would be the first, because we got grant dollars that were that we've secured, and we're about to. As a matter of fact, we told them bill us July 1st.
Yeah.
So
let it go to
July to July.
Next budget.
Yeah. But it's some training that we were in line for.
And with the extra funding and with all the stuff that the commission gave you, you guys looking good going into the fiscal year.
So yeah, I don't. Like I said, the one thing that we never can, and man, we've tried for 6 years now, is the medical.
I'm telling you, some big company out there could get filthy rich. You come up with this insurance policy for just municipalities and inmates.
Yeah. So we did just do. We just entered a contract with a group called Heritage, and they scrub bills. Okay, and it's free to us. They get a percentage of what they save us.
Oh, that's good.
So that was
free money.
Yeah, right on them. And so we got high hopes for them.
And they come in and they go through all the medical stuff and make sure that.
And then they do the negotiating with the hospitals, and they say, "Hey, look, we're not paying this."
That's good.
And that's their specialty.
Well, their incentive is to save you money, because they make money off what
that's
they
how
save
they
you.
Get paid.
Yeah. So that's good.
But that's the medical is just unbelievable.
Well, one incident can change a whole budget, can't it? I mean,
like our gentleman that had 2 brain surgeries on us.
What did that cost?
We don't know yet. They're not in yet.
But
he's a homicide suspect.
All right. Do you set aside a number in the budget for that?
Yeah, yeah.
But it's, you just pull it out of the sky, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
360,000 is what you.
Yeah, and so, and that's for outside stuff. That doesn't count what our medical contract is with Southern Healthcare Partners.
Inside the.
Yeah, because we try to triage everything in-house when we can.
Sure.
Unless we have to send them out, and that's what the 360's for. But it just takes, and now that 360 also covers when these knuckleheads run from us and the dogs catch them.
Oh, you got to get
dog bites. We pay for that, and that's always an ER visit right off the rip, right? And then you got wound care.
I guess so, if you say so, right?
And overdoses, and it's just where it comes from, because once they're in our custody, once we've arrested them, they're in our care and custody, and we're on the hook.
Last time you were here, you were talking about trying to get the state to pick up some of the charges on a gentleman that had some.
Well, we finally got him there. So, we prior to his surgery, okay, we had it worked out with the Tennessee Department of Corrections to take him pre-conviction because our argument was outside of the cost of it, the post-op care, I have LPNs.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. My jail is not set up to take care of somebody who's had brain surgery.
Gotcha.
Twice.
No.
But the public defender's office wouldn't sign it and wouldn't agree to it, and that's who represented them.
Okay.
And so we ended up having surgery and losing our bed, and then he spent some time in the hospital post-op, and then we finally got it worked out, whatever the hiccup was. And now he's in Nashville in the special needs unit, but it should have been done well before the surgery.
And will that still be ours to bear?
Yes. So we have an issue right now that we're dealing with one of our local hospitals. We had a gentleman who was incarcerated, became ill, sent him to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Doctors tell us he's on his way out, and so because he was incarcerated and his charges and things of that nature, his family could not come in and say their goodbyes, right?
Oh, wow.
So we worked with the district attorney's office and said,
let them do that.
Let's do something here.
Yeah.
You know? So we got it worked out. And I can't remember the charges or anything. I just know that he was ROR'd or released because he's hospitalized.
You guys walk a fine line between enforcing the law and trying to be, not be heartless.
Yeah. So so he was in essence on life support.
Yeah.
Right. And the doctors were asking the jail
what to do.
Yeah, you want to unplug him, and they're calling me, and I'm going, we're not going to make that call. That's the family's call, not mine.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got it worked out to where the family did their thing. But here was the kicker, okay? So we're now negotiating, we'll say, with the hospital because he lived 48 more hours after that happened.
Okay.
And they want me to pay for those 48 hours in addition to
the
2 weeks that he was there prior to. And I said, look, we've already paid you up until
turned it off.
Yeah, but the 48 after that, that's on him, not us. He was no longer in my care and custody. I pulled my corrections people. We weren't guarding the doors anymore.
So they're saying, well, who if not you, right? That's the hospital's looking to you. And
and one of the things.
This can't be just Anderson County problem. It's got to be world, countrywide.
Yeah. So the problem is for hospitals, they're for profit.
Sure.
They're trying to make money, and government, county government, because of your jails, is a great honey hole. Honestly.
Yeah.
So and there's always talk and so we've had these. We've never took time to really drill down and figure it out. But we are 100% when they're in our care and custody. We have to provide them with this stuff, right? With medical care, medical treatment. And it's the law and it's the right thing to do, right?
Sure.
I mean, it is. However, we think that it may not. We've found that, and it's wordsmithing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it'll be decided long after we're gone. But the statute, you can interpret it as, you have to provide it, not necessarily pay for it.
Oh, wow.
It's on the inmate. It's no different than if he wasn't incarcerated. He went to the ER.
Yeah.
They wouldn't get our ambulance brought him because we found him on the side of the road and he wasn't under arrest.
So
deputy calls an ambulance, sends him, and then they're going to give him medical care.
And then they charge you.
They don't charge us. They would charge him in that instance, right?
Okay.
But because he's in our custody, because he's a ward of the state, so to speak, we're on the hook. So I have one of my guys that says, I'm not sure reading this. I think you can make the argument that we don't. But even outside of that, let's say, yeah, we do have to pay for it. I don't think Anderson County should be paying more than what a TennCare customer should be paying. I think there has to be
some kind of. Is there not a mechanism in place right now? They just charge whatever they want?
Pretty much.
And that's, in government, a lot of times, like you said here, when you hear time before last, it was for Anderson County, Texas, or something like that, a bill that you had gotten, and it would have normally just went through and been paid.
Right.
Except you have these people that are scrubbing it. Yeah.
They're like, hey, wrong place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I'm telling you, Em, with the, and just the nature of your patients, your clientele with the mid-inmates, 90 to 95% of all of our people who are incarcerated, there is a addiction component to it.
That's what you said. You don't think you've seen all but just one.
I knew one. I personally met one guy
that wasn't addicted or wasn't drugs.
He didn't use. It's just what he did. But what happens is they come into our jail and get some sobriety under their belt, and man, everything hurts.
Yeah.
Because they're not being get dental care, medical care, preventative medical care.
They start to feel the.
Yeah, because they're no longer using intoxicants, and that's I've been sued twice over false teeth. People come in and their mouth's of meth, or they've got meth mouth, and so we have a dentist that comes once a month.
Pulls teeth.
And we say, yank them, and give them antibiotics, and he does his thing, but we ain't taking him over here to a denture fit because I got a blender that handles that. and you
relieve the pain, but you don't.